Happy Thanksgiving. This is Jen Kitzmiller with the National Weather Service in Missoula, and I have your weather planning briefing, which was recorded on Thursday, November 25th. So just some of the key points. We have a relatively moist and mild weather system that's going to be moving in late tonight into Friday morning. As we transition between where we are today to this weather system, there could be some mountain snow impacts along with some mixed precipitation in some of the valleys through Friday morning. Otherwise, we're going to be moving into a pretty mild air mass. Snow levels are going to be coming up and should be above most passes as we get into Saturday and Sunday. And it does look like those mild and off and on wet conditions will continue into early next week. So here's a look at the current satellite imagery. The main thing I want to point out to you is this plume of clouds and moisture coming up in southwest flow, approaching central Idaho and western Montana, and that moisture does have subtropical origins, and so with that, that's bringing in not only a decent amount of moisture, but also some relatively warm conditions. So what are we expecting for impacts? As I mentioned, that transition period between today's kind of cool, cloudy weather and into this more mild and moist air mass, we are thinking there could be a few impacts, especially to some of the valleys across northwest Montana, really late tonight and especially into Friday morning. So on the left here is a graphic of predicted snowfall, and this is from tonight at 5 p.m. through 11 p.m. on Friday. All mountain areas, especially across west central, northwest Montana, and north central Idaho, will be seeing some snowfall, with most of our passes seeing anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of snow. But if you take a look on the graphic here on the right, I've zoomed into northwest Montana. That's the area where we think some cold air could continue to linger in some of the valleys into Friday morning. And so particularly these areas that are circled within the red circle here have a chance of seeing some accumulating snowfall. Areas such as the Yaak, over towards Polebridge, West Glacier, and of course the mountain passes in those areas. Also, another area I might highlight here is perhaps that Highway 2 corridor from Happy's End to Marion could also see some snowfall, and possibly a little bit more than what we have depicted here. This is a tricky forecast. It's going to really depend on how quickly some of that cold air is able to mix out of the valleys tomorrow morning. So the snowfall amounts could be variable. Another factor in all of this is there may be some pockets of some freezing rain as we go through this transition. We're not thinking that's going to be a widespread impact, but another thing that kind of complicates the forecast here through Friday morning. The main impact period where we think the heaviest precipitation is going to be falling is going to be from that 5 a.m. to roughly 11 a.m. time frame on Friday morning. So just looking at a few site-specific points, here's Marias Pass. Again, you'll see that snowfall really starting to kick in tonight around 11 p.m. and really continuing into Friday evening. You will see through this whole event, temperatures are relatively mild, so it may just be brief periods of time where that snow is really sticking on paved surfaces. Looking at the Yaak, that's another area up closer to the Canadian border where we do think the valleys have a little bit better shot at seeing some precipitation. So again, you'll see here possibly as early as 5 p.m. and then continuing into early Friday morning as kind of that main time frame where there may be some accumulations. Continuing further south, LookoutPass, similar story. Lolo Pass, a little bit later timing. Most of the moisture doesn't make it that far south until really 5 a.m. on Friday. And so here's a look at our weather impact matrix. Once this weather system on Friday moves out, as I mentioned, snow levels are really going to start coming up, and especially once we get to Sunday, it looks like snow levels should be well above all the passes. So pretty minimal impacts, and it will remain relatively mild going into early next week. Other than some periods of rainfall and possibly some localized fog, we're not really seeing a lot to be concerned with once we get past Friday. And then just looking out in the longer range, here's the 8 to 14 day outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. This is for the precipitation, and you will see that we are highlighted in above normal confidence for above normal precipitation and continued relatively mild temperatures. One thing I will throw out there have been some hints towards the end of this period, so getting out towards December 6th through the 8th, where we could have a bit of a pattern change. Some models are indicating to much colder temperatures. So that's just something we're watching for the longer range and something to be aware of, and we'll certainly hit that more as we get closer. So that's all I have for today. Please feel free to give us a call with any questions or concerns, and otherwise we will put our next briefing up on Sunday. Thanks and have a great day.